Hello everyone and welcome to round 3 here at the Jonesboro Open. I'm joined by Steve Dodge, our Disc Golf Pro Tour Director. Steve, halfway through the event, we've got a great lead card, and it happens to be the same one we saw yesterday.
And another bunch of great players. Ricky Wysocki still leads by 2. As we said yesterday, if Ricky is leading after the first round, he wins the tournament. That's the way it's been on the Pro Tour events. It'll be interesting to see if that continues. A couple quick things. Brad just made clarifications with this group and every group before them on the men's side. On hole 5, they've clarified the OB rule. Should be no questions at this point. And on hole 11, they've introduced a mandatory. Yesterday we saw Simon go out left, take that sort of shorter route, gives you a nice open shot coming right at it. And today there's a mandatory. It's just an issue of safety and flow. And so those are the 2 clarifications that have made to the group this morning.
All right, well, Simon told me last night he likes taking that route because he likes to be different. Today he's not going to have that option. We've got a great group planned. Brad's on the tee with the call. Let's get to it. 3rd round at the Jonesboro Open.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live on the tee. 3 o'clock tee time. Ricky Wysocki.
Today we have a slight right to left crosswind, and Wysocki's disc fades out left side, short of circle 2.
Simon Lizotte.
Simon Lizotte, second to tee. Someone in the gallery said, "Yes, sir," and Simon turns and says, "Not good." Funny, because Simon typically is shocked that he doesn't get enough applause when he's out here playing, but today says it was unwarranted. So JohnE McCray is 3rd on the tee as I watch Ricky Wysocki apply some bug repellent to his shoes. Gentle turnover. He needs that to hook up. I don't think it's going to do so in time. He'll find himself right of the pin near circle 2.
JohnE McCray.
A low turnover shot looks very similar to Big Germs, and he is short and right. Let's see what the women did earlier on hole number 1.
That's significant.
Just about 100 feet, we see JohnE McCray give it a solid run. Steve Dodge is with me today, and he has made note that it is in fact much windier than we've seen the last 2 days. In talking with Sarah Holcomb during the morning round, she said the same thing. She was expecting 10 to 15 mile per hour winds all weekend, and we really didn't experience them until today. So we'll see how that factors in both in today's round and tomorrow. We think as of right now it's at least slowed down the flow of play a little bit, and we'll see how that goes throughout the rest of this round. Big Germ asked for the wind to stop. Not sure that's going to happen. And in very dainty fashion, he lays up. This gallery is very enthusiastic, cheering for even the least impressive of shots. So it's going to be fun.
That was a pretty it didn't look like it, but it was actually a pretty good shot by Jeremy, making sure to keep that right side down so the wind didn't affect it very much. Oh, Simon going for everything. I love the exuberance of youth.
Wysocki had about 48 feet there. In fact, if you are a Wysocki fan, you may have also even realized he's changed up his putting style on that. Normally he's more of a loft putter. That was more of a spin putt. That's again an indicator of how windy it is out here. Wysocki, one of the few players in the world that can effectively putt with both spin or loft. And Ricky taking his time, which is not typical, but again, accounting for that wind here early on in the round, doesn't want to give any strokes away. Lizotte is in, as will the other two players. We've got a walk over to hole 2. We'll be back with you in a few moments after a word from our sponsors right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
If I lay up, I get a personal best, but if I hit the putt, it's a new course record.
Welcome back. We are here on hole number 2.
Good.
And Wysocki hits a tree on the right side of the small gap on the hyzer route. Very interesting stat. thanks to UDisc, we saw that during the opening round, this card played this hole 4 under par yesterday as a group. They played it 1 over. And peering the gap is Lizotte. Great looking shot that should set up very nicely. And Big Germ goes for the huge Anheuser up and over, and that is going to be rough. McCray's motioning it to head to the left side. He needs that to get into the open. It does. Let's see what the women did on hole 2. And welcome back. Big Germ is in a world of hurt. He is in fact over the road, OB on the left side here. He is just behind what looks to be the short tee on hole number 2. And he goes with a forehand straight down the pipe. He needs that to finish right, and it's doing just that. He's still going to have some work ahead, but he's going to be carding a larger number than he did yesterday, I'm guessing.
That is not necessarily true. If we remember correctly, he got the bogey on this hole with a missed 12-foot putt. So he has an opportunity to at least get that. But, yeah, as you said, everybody birdied this day 1, and all pars except for Jeremy on day 2. A couple of people in good position to at least make a run at the birdie here on day 3.
We are glad you could join us here for day 3. Again, just past the halfway point for the Jonesboro Open in Arkansas. We're glad that everyone is here on our Easter weekend taking in some live disc golf action, thanks to SmashBoxxTV and the Disc Golf Pro Tour. A very warm and sunny and windy day out here at the disc side of heaven. Wysocki with really good footing here, throwing uphill. He's going to be short and left of the pin, throwing into a headwind uphill on what is the 3rd most difficult hole on the course, averaging around 4.28 on this par 4. The headwind today certainly helping increase that number on the difficulty scale. And a great looking shot there coming in by JohnE McCray. He's got uneven ground, a turnover that then finishes into the wind, and he's near circle's edge. And Lizotte releases low. He knew it right out of his hand that it was a misfire. This hole proving every bit as difficult as we're seeing on our UDisc Live stats today. Again, a headwind.
So Terry, so far today, looking at the other cards while we wait for Jeremy to line up his fourth shot. He's got to go up and down to save the bogey. Drew Gibson is -6 through 8, has moved into a tie for 5th with JohnE McCray. Johnny set up for a look at birdie, so he might pull into it. Actually, he might pull into a tie with Chris Dickerson in 4th, who's -2 through 3. So some players playing hot. Nico Locastro has moved up 9 positions so far, -5 through 8. That's where we stand on the other cards.
Big Germ with some light course maintenance here on the left side. He could have come out Tuesday and Wednesday and done this coursework. Would have been the nice thing to do. Got a beautiful 75 degrees, nice little wind right now. Coming straight at Jeremy. Big Germ's option is up and over, trying to throw the huge spike to get up toward the pin.
I'm going to go ahead and guess here, Terry. Jeremy, much like we saw in hole 4 yesterday, he's going to be my guess is just outside second circle. He's going to be running that because he can't be losing 2 or 3 strokes right here, not this early.
We are so glad that we have a number of people out here. The gallery continues to grow here on site in Jonesboro. We're also glad that you're logged in and watching from home. Share the link. Let everyone know you're watching live disc golf. Simple approach shot for Simon. He's going to be settling for a par. And why circle Ricky? Oh, making a run here for birdie on hole number 2. Germ has 75 feet to the pin. And it was a light run. However, not enough. And from 30 feet with a stiff right to left wind, McCray is in. A solid inside circle one putt again from 30 feet. Carried that in perfectly.
I got to say, it's an 820-foot hole. Very tough to navigate. JohnE McCray was arguably the shortest arm on the hole, on the card, and just the birdie. Well done, Johnny.
And Wysocki, no problems cleaning up here. He's going to be taking the par, as did Simon Lizotte. Big Germ letting a few strokes slip away here on hole 2. Brief walk to hole 3. We'll be back in a moment.
Disc Golf Center is your #1 choice for discs, accessories, and low prices. With free shipping within the U.S. on all orders over $12, discounts from our customer rewards program, and the ability to pick out the exact weight and color disc you want from our live inventory of over 20,000 options. You'll find exactly what you're looking for. Visit discgolfcenter.com, the world's largest disc golf store.
And McCray quick on the tee. If you saw that come in, he's right of the pin. Wysocki needs a little bit of lift or a skip. It looks like he's just about at circle 1. That's turning over and going to finish with a little of a hyzer skip, but that grass is not very short. And Big Germ with another air, a little bit of a misfire that catches the tree. The wind's going to push that hard left toward the OB and short. Steve Dodge will have stats for us after we see what the women did here on hole 3. Steve, we're moving down the fairway. We're watching Big Germ with his head down, shaking his head as he's moving to his relatively short drive. He is outside circle 2 by about 2 or 3 feet, meaning he's looking at almost 70 feet to the pin. Everybody's birdied this, just not in the same round?
That is exactly right. In round 1, Jeremy and Johnny got it. In round 2, Ricky and Simon got it. As I predicted on the last hole, I'm going to guess again that Jeremy needs to start making some runs. He needs to get through this, get these yips out.
Yesterday we saw him struggle with a few short putts, and then today we've seen him on both drives 2 and 3 open up with a little bit of obstruction. So let's hope that Jeremy can get settled in. And right now we're actually standing down. You may be able to see off in the distance we have Greg Barsby, who is putting on what I believe is hole 7. And Barsby is in. We're going to assume that was an eagle. Or not. You can check UDisc Live.
Greg is currently even par through the day. He's actually dropped 7 positions down to 17th. Let's hope that was an eagle to get him back on track. Eric Oakley is off on hole number 7 now. He's putting from what looks to be the same distance as Barsby. And the same result. High right chain and in for Eric Oakley. Dave Felberg will be next to putt. We're bringing you bonus action here during the 3rd round. And as far as we know, every one of these is an eagle putt. Dave Felberg's 2 down through the round, currently in 13th position.
And eagles all around, possibly.
So
Yeah, this is going to be Matt Dollar. He was just short of running that ace on that 700 or 800 foot hole.
Eric Oakley came in with a birdie on that.
Oh, okay.
So. And Matt Dollar also chains out. And I think we're back to the leader card with Simon just outside of circle 1.
Simon's effort is short and left, does not draw any medal. Ricky Wysocki is also just outside circle 1. And barely over the rim. Wysocki for the birdie 2. JohnE McCray with the closest to the pin drive. He is inside circle 1, approximately 28 feet. So unlike the previous hole, we saw McCray go with the straddle putt. He lined up straddle, then changed up the game plan, went straight on, and then hit the heart of the chains. Easy birdie here for JohnE McCray. Big German Simon still to tap out. And no doubt there for Simon Lizotte. And Germ is in. We're through 3 holes. We'll be back in a moment from hole 4. Welcome back to hole number 4, measuring in at 585 feet with 2 OB tree areas located halfway down the fairway. Wysocki second to tee. And a rip by Wysocki, and he is not happy with it. It still probably traveled 450 feet. And a huge crush by Simon Lizotte. Seeing on UDisc Live, we can see that there's been 8 opportunities for birdie, and they have converted on all 8 in the first 2 rounds. Germ opts for a forehand that flirts with the tree, however, it is moving left to right. Let's see what the women did earlier on hole 4. And McCray throwing a gentle turn over to his shot, and the gallery loves it. If you birdie every time, you got to make recovery shots like that. That was beautiful. I know we talked about it yesterday. You're going to hear plenty of rustling around with leaves and other, we'll say, vegetation that's out here. This course features a little bit of everything. Some of it is very punishing, and sometimes you're just walking through some long grass. It's got a little mix of everything out here at the disc side of heaven course. Big Germ has come up short of the OB tree clump, and he's got a forehand approach. It's a high swooping forehand shot that looks to be just a bit short and right of the pin. Steve and UDisc have alerted me that this is still playing as the 3rd easiest hole. Or one, a little more than half a stroke under par. I see Ricky off to the right lining up. And it looks like he will throw next. As you said, everybody on this hole and everybody in this card has birdied this twice in a row. And Ricky looks to be set to birdie it again. And Lizotte will have a long look at eagle. However, with the tree in his way, I'm guessing this is going to be essentially a layup. Seeing a left to right wind, it does slope down gently behind the basket. And that was no layup there by Lizotte. If I should have learned anything by now, he's here to wow the crowd. So he's always going to be going for that hero shot. Gives it a good run. He'll have to settle for just a birdie.
He also has 3 strokes to make up. So if he can make the comebacker, might as well run it.
And from just inside circle one, Ricky barely gets it over the edge again. This time a straddle from 28 feet comes up just short. McCray will take a par here on the 4th hole. And that's a birdie 3 for Big Germ. We'll see if that can be a momentum changer for him. Eagles in for the birdie. So 3 birdies and a par here on hole number 4. The exciting hole 5 is coming up next. We'll be back in a moment.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
You're not moving. This is awesome. Thank you, guys. You could clap about twice as loud as you're doing when they hit big shots, so we look a little big.
And welcome back, everyone. Steve Dodge alerting the on-site gallery that they have been very well behaved as taking in the action here. We should be live and ready to go. It looks like Wysocki may have the honors.
One interesting thing on that last hole, Jeremy managed to get that birdie, and McCray missed. What that did was allow Jeremy to catch Johnny. Johnny had already passed Jeremy, so they are now currently tied for 4th place, with Chris Dickerson moving past both of them. He's now in 3rd.
And that is trouble for Wysocki. Wysocki's shot was hung wide to the right. He did not like it out of his hand, which is relatively common, but this time it bounced off the OB hay bale and then stayed inbounds.
I think if people... Well, Simon is safe. I think if people had exhaled just a second earlier, Wysocki might have been pushed out of bounds.
And Big Germ is checking the wind as he's kicking up a little bit of gravel and dirt. Not my favorite wind indicator by our professionals, but that's for another day. And Big Germ looking to duplicate the effort he had yesterday. He got the birdie, the eagle, each of the first 2 days. After eagling it in the first 2 rounds, he goes big here in the 3rd round. It looks to be inbounds on the left side. And McCray is coming in very nicely. It's a great shot. We're moving down to Simon Lizotte. Let's check in with the women. What do you got? Look at that Simon throwing. Okay, Simon throwing. And Simon Lizotte needs a little bit more. Looks to be short and right. I think that will be, in fact, out of bounds. I incorrectly stated earlier that this was a par 4. It is, in fact, a par 3. So Big Germ is 2 for 2 on birdies, not eagles. However, very impressive nonetheless. Today he's going to be setting up for a 3rd birdie attempt.
Terry, I'm just making a prediction right now that we have another provisional opportunity right now, because tee shots, I'm sure, go to the drop zone or not. I don't know about second shots.
And Ricky's going to clarify exactly where he is. He is, in fact, inbounds. There's a hay bale and string indicating the OB area, and he's going to bring himself in the 1 full meter before throwing his second shot.
Yeah, very nice upshot by Ricky. This is playing as the 4th most difficult hole on the course today. 0.24 over par. Ricky lays it nicely to secure his par.
Big Germ asking if we're familiar with the rules.
Are you familiar with the rule? He threw out of bounds on his second shot. Does he go to the drop zone or does he go where he went out of bounds?
I already made the call, but I bet there's going to be a provisional here. Because I don't know. What does it say on that? We clarified where the line is that goes to the drop zone and doesn't. Do you guys have the scorecard? Let's read the back of the scorecard and see what it says.
The hole is 5. Tee shot lands inbounds in the fairway and your approach shot lands in the water. Normal OB rules. Continue until you land on green.
And McCray can give it a run here for a long birdie attempt. And as Ricky Wysocki had read, if an approach shot goes OB, you play it as normal OB, which means you'll play it from where it was last inbounds. Lizotte is going to take a look and confirm that. And Lizotte is stating that he thinks the others should take a look at it. There is going to be a string indicator, and we'll see if we can get in better position to take a look as I make my way over.
It's like the same old thing is like right on it. I gotta say you're in bounds.
And Big Germ is trying to give him the benefit here. A clarification that the fence is not the out-of-bounds indicator. Instead, it is a strung line. And if I can manage to get over there without falling in the water.
It is, so looking at it lower, it doesn't break the
line this way.
And there you have it. It looks like the disc does not break into the inbound side of the line. And I believe they're going to officially determine it OB.
Yeah.
And Simon's putt for a bogey 4 draws metal. And from a third of the distance of yesterday, Big Germ converts on the birdie putt. Hole number 5, birdie for Big Germ. Easy tap-in par for Wysocki, which no one can be mad at. Lizotte will tap in for what I believe is a double bogey 5. And a head tapper there for McCray. We'll be back in a moment with hole number 6. Let's get that ace on SportsCenter.
For driving with power or into a headwind, Vibram designed a distance driver with amazing glide and a strong, predictable fade. It is the ideal disc for big arms, forehand drives, and smooth right-to-left finishes. Introducing the Olace from Vibram. Durability, grip, performance.
And welcome back. And as we are moving over to hole number 6, what could be an ace run here by any of our competitors, Steve Dodge and myself was talking about how that last on that previous green. Not coming. Wysocki is inbounds. McCray's gentle hyzers coming in right at the pin, just underneath it. Park job for JohnE McCray. Simon's looking for that to finish right. It's coming in toward the pin and deep. We'll see what the women's lead card did earlier, and we'll be back with an interesting conversation from the green of 6. And Big Germ's approach shot is near the basket. We'll get back to the women's coverage and then we'll talk more on the green. And Simon Lizotte is in for the birdie. And Ricky Wysocki catching himself before a possible falling putt violation. He maintains his balance. And a little dance there on the chains by Big Germ's bogey putt. And the 7-footer by McCray is in. Very easy, hole 6. We'll move on to 7 in just a moment.
What did you just do?
I'm stamping this misprint.
Yeah, but you triple stamp the double stamp.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Can too.
Cannot.
Can too.
Cannot.
Can too.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't. Eric!
Guys, enough!
You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Just do it!
And Wysocki appears to be ready to go here on the tee. This is a blind shot from the tee. Hole number 7. Just how tough is it?
It's the 4th easiest hole by par, but the par is 4, so these guys are getting between a 3 and a 4. Everybody on this card has gotten 3s both days.
Wysocki's shot is up. He's faced with a light right to left wind. His disc is fading just the same.
One interesting thing that might have happened on that last hole, in watching the women's coverage, the wind pushed everything right to left. But I think it's a protected tee, so they didn't know that there was such a strong wind down here. On this hole, we can feel the wind and strong right to left, and the players are adjusting accordingly.
Lizotte lining up. And crushing his shot, which again is fading right to left, hopefully setting up for the approach to the protected green. And Big Germ seems to have turned his over wide right. And he may get more distance than the rest. We'll be back in a moment. And Steve Dodge and I welcome you back to hole number 7. Ricky Wysocki taking his time to make sure he's got a line on the basket here. He's lining up a forehand shot. Tempted green. And it looks to be just a bit short and right. The crowd is impressed. So Steve, what they didn't hear us talking about earlier is Simon Lizotte's second shot on hole number 6 may have in fact hit the wall. And that wall is on the inbound side of the line. Simon Lizotte potentially should have taken his next shot from within 25 feet of the pin by the Keen wall.
Potentially, he maybe should have. I don't know if there's any way to prove that he hit the wall, but hard to believe is that another half inch.
So something to talk about a little bit later, but for now, Lizotte is lined up.
Well inside the circle. Lizotte, good chance at birdie here on hole 7.
Germ. And Big Germ not used to seeing his in the fairway. We found a shot in the cut grass here. Looks like he'll be throwing a Sexton Glow Firebird for an approach. And Germ has a slight tailwind at his back as he throws a forehand. He would have loved a little bit of a hyzer skip. However, he's got a short putt there. And Wysocki is left side chain and out. Lizotte told me last night that he knew he was 100% inside circle 1 and that it was going to remain that way. And thus far today, he is making good on that promise.
His only missed putt so far has been about 4 feet outside of circle 1. Funny how that line matters. Ricky Wysocki, coming into this hole, was ahead by 5. That missed putt, he's now ahead by 4. Seems like a pretty comfortable lead. What do you think, Terry? Is he coasting home?
There's some work to do here.
It's a big course with some significant weather.
And Germ recovers from the previous bogey with a birdie here on 7. And no problem for McCray. So that means in 12 opportunities amongst these 3 players, we've had 11 birdies. Ricky's going to tap in for the par. Let's move on to hole 8. Welcome back to a hole number 8 where JohnE McCray is on the tee. We should see a turnover shot by McCray. I'm guessing this is a putter of sorts. And that has a very nice gentle turn. He's coming in just past the basket. Looks to be inside circle 1. He'll be coming back at the pin. We'd like to again welcome everyone here to our third round coverage of the Jonesboro Open. I'm your host, Tim Miller, the disc golf guy. We also have Steve Dodge giving us some stats, as I just saw Simon Lizotte throw the roller. Yesterday I asked him on the podcast, I said, Simon, why do you throw the roller there? That's just a forehand. He's like, I like it. It's a cool shot. Well, I don't think he's going to like it today. He has rolled way past the basket. I'm not sure if there's actually even out of bounds over there. Big Germ is coming in nicely and skips just a few feet past the pin. I expect to see the same by Wysocki. Again, this is a very easy forehand shot. I'm going to challenge Simon in saying, go to the forehand here tomorrow, Simon. Wysocki's got a good-looking forehand, however, it is also deep. He's outside circle 1. Let's see how the women did on hole 8 earlier today.
Enjoy.
Again, Simon Lizotte is deep of the pin, close to 100 feet past after that rolled uphill. Very obstructed view here. He has a left to right wind and a layup. Not the score he was looking for on one of the easiest holes on the course.
Indeed not, but after watching Sarah Hokum's roll away to turn into a bogey, it was a very smart play by Simon.
And Wysocki's hits off the band and it rolls to just about 30 feet. His putt was from approximately 40 feet. Now he's going to be uphill, looking at 29 feet for the par. And never a doubt as Ricky swipes up his mini with frustration, definitely making it more challenging than he wanted.
Terry, this hole is playing easier than most. It's the 5th easiest hole, averaging at just about half a stroke under par. Ricky's parred it 2 of the 3 times.
lesson in strategy for everyone at home. We see JohnE McCray sometimes positioning a straddle putt and sometimes his forward putt, depending on what the wind is doing. That time it looks like a misread. Germ, the only remaining birdie opportunity here. Right corner pocket for Big Germ. That puts him in a tie for third place. Simon Lizotte sits in second, and of course Wysocki still with a lead. Not the fireworks we were all expecting here on hole number 8, this relatively easy hole. Moving on to the challenging hole 9. We'll be back in a moment. Big Germ playing the forehand, which is finishing on the right side of the fairway. Big Germ got no applause. He said, "That's what I wanted, so that's cool." And then the gallery decided to applaud it. Great looking shot by JohnE McCray. Late applause by the crowd. And Simon goes for the huge turnover shot, hoping that hooks up eventually. I don't think it did. And it rips out of Ricky Wysocki's hand. He's going to like that if it stays clean. He'll have a forehand from there. Let's see how the women performed on hole 9. Simon gets a full run up here as he's going out and around, trying to attack the downsloping green.
Simon has 2 birdies on this hole. Sure, he wanted to give that everything he had to give himself another chance at it. Plus, he's 4 strokes down. So, a lot going on. Terry, to me, and this is just me,
Yeah, it is.
It looks to me like Ricky is playing a sport and Simon is playing a game. Looks like Simon is out here to have fun and Ricky is out here to win. That's just the way that I see the demeanor. And I wonder if Simon sometimes takes routes that low percentage but high fun.
Well, he's talked about that in the past, whether or not he's out here to win tournaments or if he's out here to put on a show. We know he's very entertaining. And we'll see how the rest of this weekend goes for him. I think he's looking to do a little bit of both.
Well, he currently leads in tour points, and Ricky's in second. So whichever one of them wins this tournament will be in the lead in tour points after 4 events. Big germ. Big overhand.
Big tan line. Aiming right at our catch camera. Chad on a swivel up there doing as best as he can to keep the action coming right into your living room.
Terry, I just want to make sure you were the one commenting on the tan lines, right? That's coming from the whitest boy here.
And trying to play that downslope is McCray. Your tan lines? Yeah, we've seen that. How great was that shot of yours?
I'd say it was pretty good, considering my lie was not great. Was it?
I couldn't really see the menu.
No, it wasn't a foot fault.
I second it.
I took extra precaution to avoid the foot fault.
In great position here is Ricky Wysocki. He's lining up a forehand harp approach. Directing a little traffic here. Wysocki was just a few feet behind the 250-foot marker here, located out here on the disc side of heaven. This course features both 500-foot and 250-foot post, so players have some idea how far away they are from the basket. Great feature. I would suggest any course that features par 4s and 5s, think about adding that to your amenities. Lizotte lays up for the Lizotte up.
Simon lays up.
Something like that. Big Germ finds himself approximately 10 feet outside circle 1. So it'll be a downhill putt on hole number 9 for birdie. Does not look like he committed either. We need to see a full-blown run or a layup, and that seemed to be a quarter of both of those.
It's tough when your heart wants to go for it and your mind says this is not the smart play. You end up putting it somewhere in between, giving yourself almost no chance at getting in, and a lot of chance at problems. James Conrad continues to move up. He's 6 down through 10. He's now currently in 3rd place, all alone. Looks like JohnE McCray is getting attacked by this low-hanging branch. And he definitely was giving that a full run, just right of the pin. Wysocki looks to be a step inside circle 1. Attaboy Rick. No problems for Wysocki. He's going to card the birdie 3 here on hole number 9. I believe that will further extend his lead. We're about to head to the back half of the course. In the same way that hole 8 gives Ricky trouble, hole 9 does not. He's 3 for 3 on hole 9. And ever so dainty put in there by our pal Big Germ. It makes it look pretty. We're moving to the back half. Stay tuned right here at the Jonesboro Open.
Are you obsessed with disc golf? If so, this is for you. DiscGolfBoxes.com. Premium hand-picked products shipped to your door every month. It's easy. 1. Pick your box size, the par, birdie, or ace. 2. Choose a brand of disc you would like. 3. Fill out the survey so we know exactly what you like. Go now to DiscGolfBoxes.com and sign up today. Use coupon code DGPT to save 10% on your first box. Go to DiscGolfBoxes.com to get your monthly box of disc golf awesomeness.
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and featuring Night Eye's patented fiber optics array, these discs strike the perfect balance of durability, stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With easily replaceable batteries and an uber-long life, the Flash Flight driver, mid-range, and putter will shine as they blaze your path to victory, day or night. Night Eyes. Discover your solution.
And welcome back here as we are on the tee of 10. Our players should be ready in just a moment. Wysocki will have honors with the birdie from the previous hole. Hole 10 measuring 360 feet. We're clear to go. Wysocki flashed in front of the basket yesterday. However, today's release is low and left.
Terry, where are the players trying to go on this basket? It's one of the fastest greens, and it's an elevated basket. What are they trying to do down at the pin?
Steve, what they're looking to do is have a forehand with a flight like Big Germ's, but skips right around the 33-foot marker, and then have it skip and carry to the pin so it's slowing down once it's come into that 10-meter mark.
10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mark. 10 meter mar
And McCray's turnover is heading toward the pin, and it gets a good skip. He's going to be very happy with that effort. And Simon, I believe, is changing up his game plan after talking about it last night. He's in the clearing. We'll see how the women did earlier right here on hole 10.
Should have a ladies pad on this one too.
And Wysocki's only practical effort here is just the layup to the base of the pin. Thanks to Delta Windjammers for their support here of our elevated basket on hole 10. And very, very few birdies have come as a result of hole number 10. But today we're looking at least 3 solid potentials here. First chance here by Lizotte.
In our last 8 tries between these guys, only Ricky and Johnny have gotten the birdie. 2 out of 8.
And Lizotte. He may have just died. And after speaking of Simon's circle 1 putting, Jeremy jumps up in jubilation. Lizotte's first miss inside the circle a few moments ago. And JohnE McCray with an easy birdie. Not many would have guessed the backhand shot for the part job here on hole 10, but if anyone can do it, it's definitely JohnE McCray as they tap out. No Lizotte route on 11. We'll be back with you in a moment.
Lizotte.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
Welcome back to hole number 11. We'll have some statistics for you in a moment. We saw yesterday Simon Lizotte take, we'll say, the Lizotte route out into the left, and today they've put in a mandatory, so that is no longer allowed. Big Germ's on the tee. And distance is great, but you don't want too much here. If you get pinched up against the backside tree line, it makes your approach that much more challenging. Big Germ looks to be in a good position there. looks to be a little bit short. Excuse me, JohnE McCray asking for more D. That is going to be nearly impossible to get up and down for the birdie.
You think we're going to see a forehand roller?
No.
Simon.
And Ricky has made the clearing. Now it's just a matter of how far left is he, and will it be too deep? He'll have a forehand approach from there to the blind green.
I don't think he's as deep as Jeremy is, and I think he's farther left. Ricky has a much better position going into the second shot. And Simon goes up and over the big tree and goes way left. Should have just done that yesterday.
That was very impressive. Let's see how the women performed here on hole 11. And JohnE McCray is very perplexed here by this shot and angle he needs to take. He's come out low and it clips the trees. It is out into the opening, and he should be able to get up and down for par from there. Interesting stat, thanks to udisclive.com. Simon Lizotte is not only the #1 in putting percentage from inside circle 1, but he has in fact made 190 out of 200 inside the circle 1 putts thus far on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So again, 190 out of 200. So if you're keeping track at home how you get better and possibly compete with the best, make sure you make everything inside 10 meters.
Terry, is that 95%?
Something like that.
No, that is 95%.
I know.
Now you do.
Be quiet. Big Germ's going to be next to throw. He has a blind shot that sets up perfectly for a forehand. I think he gave the Homer Simpson dope, and that seems to work. Just a bit long. And Simon, who did not fully clear, looks like he's going to be with an outstretched forehand. With a little flex to that. Great recovery here by Simon Lizotte. And making it look easy is Wysocki. James Conrad, I believe, has birdied the last 6 holes in a row, shooting very well today. Again, follow along with us on udisclive.com for all of the up-to-date stats and figures. You can learn all about percentages. Steve Dodge will do some math for you, telling you that 190 of 200 does, in fact, equal 95% putting from inside the circle. Steve, how do you do such quick math?
Division.
That's very impressive.
So the other impressive thing going on right now is Nico LaCastro is moving on up. He's moved up 9 spots. He's minus 10 through 16. He is in fact just 1 stroke away from the lead card.
McCray has about 100 feet to the pin and online, but up and over the basket. McCray looks to be left out of the birdie club here. We'll see if Big Germ can be first to convert.
Terry, is this the most consistently elevated course you've ever seen? I see so many slow greens and so many fast greens, all on the same course. Sometimes they can run it and sometimes they can't. This is an amazing variety of greens that we're seeing here.
It certainly offers a ton of variety and challenge out here on the This Side of Heaven. And that green, as you just spoke of, is going to bite Jeremy here for an extra 15 feet. Hits off the front of the rim, and he's looking at a par save now from about the same distance uphill. Gently rising putt finds the chains for Big Germ. Now just Lizotte and Wysocki left with birdie chances. JohnE McCray will have a quick 5-foot tap in here as he completes hole 11. We're moving into the back third of the course. Plenty of golf to go. We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And welcome back as we move over here to hole number 12. Steve, any stats for hole 12?
Actually, Terry, yeah, this hole averages 3.7. So as a par 4, it's relatively easy. But as a par 3, it's a very difficult hole. And these guys, like most of the field, is getting the 4. These guys, 7 out of 8 have gotten the 3. The only person missing is JohnE McCray in the first round. He recovered yesterday and did get the 3. See if they can do it again.
I'm guessing it would average even harder as a par 2.
It would be almost a full stroke harder.
Wysocki's able to air it out. Inside the hay bales is in fact out of bounds, and all of our competitors here on the lead card will be going up and over the bales, trying to carry past them. Some of the women earlier today decided to lay up short of the bales.
Yesterday I feel like they were getting farther up the hill. That's the play. You want to get as far up that hill as possible, and Ricky left himself a very tough upshot.
I'm expecting a huge crush here by Lizotte. And that is going to need to flex out, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's headed toward the trees on the right-hand side. And really everyone's unsure of how that's going to treat him. Big Germ's up to throw next.
Lizotte was clearly going for the eagle there. He thought going for a par 2.
And that is the Big Germ signature wombat. And carried nicely up and over the hay bales.
Just for clarification, Terry, the wombat, is that an approach disc or is that a putter?
It's, I believe, a hybrid of sorts. Big Germ throws it really well. And carrying right through the trees, asking for it to miss it. His wish is granted. We're moving on. Let's see how the women did earlier here in hole 12.
No, that's not what's supposed to happen. God.
Wysocki first to throw. Looks as if he's about pin high, 20 feet right of the basket. McCray has a very nice approach shot to within 15 feet of the pin. Massive hawk flying overhead. Also have to see if we can get eyes on Simon Lizotte's crush that carried past the OB. It'll just be a matter of what kind of lie he is left with. Steve, it seems as if the wind has calmed down. Again, it was coming at us earlier with a consistent 10 to 15. And now I feel almost no wind whatsoever as we are moving into the latter third of the course.
I think we're in a protected side of the hill here. If you look way left, there is still significant wind, but he doesn't have much to deal with on this very easy approach shot.
Big Germ with more than 100 feet from the pin wants that to sit down. It's done so inside circle 1. And Lizotte tests the right to left wind and then converts on the birdie.
Nice, Rick.
Convert for Ricky Wysocki. Just over the rim for Big Germ. Looks like we should see 4 birdies here. And this group moves to 11 birdies and 12 opportunities. We'll be back in a moment from hole 13. Steve, we've moved over here to hole 13 where we're watching Ricky Wysocki go an alternative route. Every player I've watched throw hole 13 goes with a backhand shot as it fades gently from right to left. However, Wysocki opts for the forehand. Simon Lizotte going with the backhand we spoke of. It looks like that's going to come up short. Now we're feeling the wind that I said disappeared on the last hole. And the wind is pushing from left to right.
Today, this hole is playing as the 5th toughest hole in the tournament, which is a testament to the fact the wind is rolling over this hill. I wonder if they can feel it down there. Because I guess as Ricky knew, it was going to push the disc way left or right. And he wanted to take that out of play.
Yeah, I'm certainly shocked by that, because if he gets that disc on the wrong angle, it could push down. So it seems like the backhand, especially when as powerful as Ricky is, Big Germ comes up short. We'll see if Ricky makes any adjustments for the final round, depending on the wind conditions tomorrow. And JohnE McCray, very low, early skip. So 4 less than impressive drives. Let's see how the women conquered hole 13. Wysocki steps up and fires relatively quickly. He's right side of the pin, looking at a short uphill putt. It'll also have a little bit of a headwind from there. Steve tells me that just 6 birdies have been gathered here on hole number 13 today. Steve, where do you find such amazing stats and information?
udisclive.com. You can also save 15% on your putting stroke.
We see JohnE McCray after a low skip shot. Has about 85, maybe 90 feet to the pin. And giving a good run. The gallery applauds the effort. Big Germ just a few steps inside of McCray's effort.
And just a few steps outside of circle 2, putting him about 80 feet out.
And just a few steps left of the pin. Simon Lizotte, approximately a foot outside of circle 1. Well, Big Germ foot, that is. And that makes him 1 for 4 from circle 2 today. Simon Lizotte to within 4 strokes of Ricky Wysocki. Ricky's going to be putting straight at us. And we'll see the 3 pars and a birdie.
Terry, Simon Lizotte now has 3 birdies in a row. Let's hear a word from our sponsors and get over to the next hole.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Just do it!
Welcome back. We are here on hole number 14, where James Conrad famously hit the pole yesterday on this 520-foot downhill shot at a very nice gallery that has congregated up here on the teeing area of hole 14. You're watching second round action right here, third round action of the Jonesboro Open. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, along with Steve Dodge, and the furthest throwing player here at the tournament, Simon Lizotte, on the tee. I'm ready for that Sports Center moment.
If people are looking for something to watch during downtime after the round, Marty McGee of Prodigy Video, Prodigy Disc, got James Conrad hitting the post yesterday.
And Lizotte's drive is turning over and short. This tee shot more about a wind read than even the sheer distance. We saw Ricky Wysocki make a mistake yesterday and turn this over right, and it is playing as the single most difficult hole on the course. Wysocki making an adjustment from yesterday. Gallery certainly approves of the effort.
Every once in a while, Terry, we're reminded why Ricky's winning by 4.
And Big Germ looking for that to flip up. It turned over briefly, but now is carrying hard left. He's going to have some work to do from that left-hand side. And looking for that to stable up as it's carrying right by McCray. The women threw from a slightly shorter tee. We'll see how they did here on hole 14. Let's get to it now. Difficult hole on the course. Wysocki making an adjustment from yesterday.
Safe. Oh boy.
And Simon Lizotte has gone OB. He'll throw his second shot, and we'll resume with the women's coverage in just a moment.
There you go. There you go.
And welcome back as JohnE McCray is getting into position. The gallery is also trying to get into position. And a lunging high anhyzer attempt by McCray will leave him 10 feet to the pin. Big Germ, not many options here. Looks to be about 38 feet from the pin, but very obstructed. He's even got to pull down the shades to take a look here.
Having a big wingspan helps sometimes. It does not look like this is one of those times.
I don't think Big Germ's ever been on the course and said, man, I really wish I was shorter right now.
I've never said that either. I'll call that a layup.
Another inside the circle conversion for Lizotte. However, he's going to be walking away with a bogey 4. Quite a swing here as Wysocki will be tapping in for a birdie 2. Doesn't get much easier than that. We're moving on. Wysocki with the birdie. Welcome back. We are on hole number 15, which I'm going to guess plays as one of the easiest holes on the course. Steve, the stat man, can get us those details. I'm going to predict at least 3 birdies and 4 chances here. And Wysocki is just deep of the pin. In fact, this is the second easiest hole on the course. Big Germ plays more of a wide angle. Needs that to sit. For all of our loyal fans, I think we know that Big Germ does not ace, but he is in the card, so I'm expecting one of the other two to get the ace. Simon Lizotte, the only player to not birdie this in both rounds. Park job by McCray. And it Feels like that's a little light. Yesterday he came in short, but aces! Aces! Boom! There it is, folks. Simon Lizotte. I called it short. I was wrong. Big Germ sees it and knows that is all Big Germ. Simon Lizotte with the point. I just said that Big Germ doesn't ace.
Oh, that was pretty good. Thanks.
It feels like that's a little light. Yesterday he came in short, but is here. We knew that Big Germ wouldn't be putting it in because he's just along for the ride.
Hashtag it counts.
And congratulations to Simon.
Thank you.
Big Germ.
Thanks.
Of course, going to let the crowd know it was all Big Germ's effort. Simon will adjust his average here. He is now back to being on par with birdieing each round. Made up for that silly par during round one. Ricky will collect his thoughts. And we have a rare opportunity to see 5 under from an entire card on one hole.
I gotta say, I feel like that was a lackluster clap for a very nice birdie by Ricky.
And a bunch of birdies for the rest of the card. We're moving on. This is the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Are you obsessed with disc golf? If so, this is for you. DiscGolfBoxes.com. Premium hand-picked products shipped to your door every month. It's easy. 1. Pick your box size, the par, birdie, or ace. 2. Choose the brand of disc you would like. 3. Fill out the survey so we know exactly what you like. Go now to DiscGolfBoxes.com and sign up today. Use coupon code DGPT to save 10% on your first box. Go to DiscGolfBoxes.com to get your monthly box of disc golf awesomeness.
I had it to Johnny too.
Yes, please.
Well done.
And JohnE McCray stating what I had just mentioned, 5 under on the group. We are clear on the tee. However, it looks like there is action from the second card. And we'll have to wait for the second card. In fact, looks as if they are at their approach shots. We're back here in the tee area.
I gotta say, Terry, that was a very appreciative crowd. I'm glad that glad we waited until Saturday to get that ace under our belts.
Wow, very exciting here. Everyone with a little extra spring in their step here. Simon's got to check social media.
Terry, what do you think would be more impressive, an ace on hole 15 or a deuce on hole 16?
Well, a deuce on 16 means that somebody has thrown one in from over the water, so that would look very pretty. An ace off the tee, though, I mean, everybody knows what's happening there. However, a deuce here on 16 would be pretty awesome as well. 855 feet.
So the other question that we have, I haven't looked it up yet, but the other question, that coming into that hole, it was the second easiest hole. It'll be interesting to see after 5 down, 4 more people. I wonder if it is now the easiest hole this round.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Simon checks it on U-Disc. I think it's official.
No, but my 4th or something, not much. 4 or 5.
Is that your first time seeing an ace, Jim? Or
First time in like at least 3 days.
Didn't I say it was going to be 15 on the first round?
You did.
I did.
You did. You said that with your mouth. With a big German mouth, you said that.
So, interestingly enough, hole 15 is still playing as the second easiest hole.
They were wondering at home.
The next easiest hole is hole 16.
So what should we expect here?
I would expect at least 3 birdies, if not at albatross and 3 birdies. I want to see a deuce.
I'm curious where the 16 would be if the par was listed as what it is, which is a par 4. Like where it would fall in that.
Steve the stat man can get you that information, I'm guessing.
It would be one of the 3 most difficult holes.
What can you tell us about the second card that's here on hole 16, Steve? Maybe some scores or updates?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, as we all know, Ricky Wysocki is in the lead by 5. It was 6 until just a second ago. Simon Lizotte's in second, 28 down. James Conrad has one of the hotter rounds of the day. He's 9 down through 15 at 25 down overall. JohnE McCray and Jeremy Koling are battling for the final spot on the lead card. Chris Dickerson was playing hot. He's fallen off a little bit. He's 22 down. And Nico Locastro shot a 10 down to move himself up 9 spots. Right now he's sitting pretty confidently on the second card with Drew Gibson rounding out the second card. He shot a 9 down. So that's your top 8 right now. But the story right now, Ricky has a 5-stroke lead with how many holes to go? 20? 21?
Something like that.
So we've got blackjack left to go. Terry, are we clear to throw?
That's a great question. I'm looking for some cues from either possibly down the fairway or elsewhere.
Okay.
You waiting for them to get off the green, or?
I didn't know we were ready, sorry.
I'm just kidding. I think it's up to you, though, whenever you want to go. Ready?
And with honors, of course, Simon Lizotte on the tee.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Just coming in under the branches is Simon Lizotte's shot, which is on the right side of the fairway. I think he could have used a little more hyzer finish to that. Ricky is not in love with his effort. wind is pushing left to right here for Big Germ's shot, and it continues to carry. Again, more highs are necessary. And JohnE McCray, after the delay, loves his effort. And let's check out the women here on hole 16 for this long par 5.
Get over, please.
Oh boy. Go, 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 go. Yes. You're good.
And welcome back. We are here on hole number 16. Looks like Ricky Wysocki may be the first to throw. This, of course, second shot is to carry over the water if you are in position to do so. McCray looks to be in the best position out of all 4 players from what I can see, although I haven't located Simon's initial drive. Big Germ was not thrilled with his effort.
With a relatively large lead here, if you were in Ricky's shoes, what would you do? Would you play the safe shot and just try to go up and down for the birdie?
If he's the position where I think he is, that is exactly what I would try to do. But I'm not the current world champion.
It does look like he's going big Annie over around the tree.
One has to think that if he does choose to go for this, he really wants to throw it as hard as he possibly can. There is no disadvantage to throwing this thing 500 or 600 feet. So he just, he's going to want to put everything into it. If he hits and rolls or cut rolls or does anything like that, it's going to be perfectly fine. He needs to get across over the water, even if it's way past the water. Seems like he is checking the wind and waiting for the green. And we'll see what Ricky Wysocki does here. Steve, you just asked a moment ago what his play would be here, and I have to say, he does not have a very easy layup, which might be why he's opting to go for it. However, now he's lining up a different angle. I'm confused. I am thoroughly lost. Now he's looking at the backhand. if he picks up one more disc. All right, here's Ricky's second shot. And a massive anhyzer. I don't know if he had enough on it. And it is panning out. And it is certainly across easily. He is on the long left side. He will be looking at least at 200 feet to the pin. However, he has navigated over the water safely. Again, going deep is perfectly fine once he crosses that water. JohnE McCray in a great position here. McCray with a high putter shot that has anhyzered and is now coming back out of it. It has landed safely on the other side. No Adele reference needed. And Simon in a very difficult position, as is Big Germ. Simon's trying to line up what looks to be a tiny gap. I am not sure what he's doing here. He sees something that I do not. And he really has very few choices here. He's going for a very small gap. Simon wipes out. However, the shot is up and over. We'll see if it can clear. Yeah! And it's done just that. Looks as if he is 40 feet right of the pin after a slide here into second. And Big Germ may not have the options that Simon just had. Big Germ is buried deep. Looks like he's trying to line up an overhand. I'm going to call it right now. This is going to be nearly impossible to track. Big Germ is buried.
We talked about it before, but these guys genuinely see lines we can't even think about seeing. I got up right behind where Simon was, and the angle up, he was shooting up about 60 degrees as a backhand to go up and over those trees. That was an amazing shot.
Very few people with that kind of power to even be able to attempt such a shot. Big Germ's relying on this overhand again.
It makes me wonder if Simon could even see 40 feet to the left where it's wide open with a simple little pitch out. I heard it hit a tree.
Big Germ is unsure, as are we. Simon said it was really hard to see, so even Simon...
I've heard 2 OB calls.
If Germ is out of bounds, he will have to move to a drop zone. Any shots that land in the water here move to the drop zone, which means you still need to clear the water. It is approximately 30 feet shy of the 250-foot marker, so that means 220 feet. Big Germ has called a provisional. And he'll be attempting a shot from here in case he is found out of bounds. Flick by Big Germ, and it looks like that carried right on him. We're going to be back with you in a few moments. We're going to stand down as we're going to get Ricky Wysocki into position. Stay tuned right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And sorry about any potential confusion there. Ricky Wysocki was in fact ready to go. Now we have a lengthy walk to move over toward the green.
Ah, yes. I knew it.
What's the pro tip on snack time, Sarah?
This is a really good time when you're last on the box and there's a wait. This is some yogurt that I keep in my cooler bag of my Zuka cart, because I have all these sweet accessories to carry all the cool stuff you need. Lots of room for lots of fun things like a toothbrush, super glue, some baby wipes, an extra skirt, a rubber chicken, and some lotion.
All seem like essentials to me.
They are.
What's the yogurt of choice?
Chocolate Haze Craze Flips by Yod Chobani. It's my favorite.
Snack time pro tip, Sarah Holcomb. Big Germ from Circle's Edge does not draw metal. And Lizotte is up and over the basket as well, as he was faced with a stiff headwind. He was also just about at Circle's edge. Circle 1, that is. I believe we've seen 6 3s and 2 4s out of this card prior to the 3rd round. So very impressive efforts here. JohnE McCray is left also with about a Circle's edge putt for his Eagle 3. Off the top of the band. One thing we're seeing here, Terry, this wind is wreaking havoc. And I was just talking to TD Brad Peets, and he told me this wind is nothing. If we get a windy day tomorrow, we got even more fireworks on the way. Simon Lizotte with a missed putt from inside 20 feet. Earlier today we saw Paige Pierce take a 7 from the slightly shorter tee. That was the momentum changer between her and Sarah Holcomb. And right now Big Germ has lost any momentum he had. And Wysocki patiently waiting. You may have missed his 3rd shot. And with that he taps in for the birdie 4. And some putting woes here on hole number 16. No one is happy with their effort except for Wysocki. We've got a long walk. We're moving on to the Triple Mando, the Zuka card on hole 17. welcome back. We are here on hole 17 with just 2 holes to play here in our 3rd round at the Jonesboro Open. Ricky Wysocki on the tee. Powerful forehand by Wysocki as we feel a right to left wind pushing just over the right shoulder. Second to throw, JohnE McCray. McCray with the backhand. There is a fence line on the far left side. Players need to come up short of that. The gallery seems to approve. And Big Germ is off to the right. The frustrations continue. We're moving on 17. Let's check in with the women. Welcome back to hole number 17. Big Germ is, well, we'll say he's assessing his options. Looks like he wants to go for the shot up and over. We've also learned that Simon Lizotte's tee shot had gone out of bounds, which we did not know from the blind tee area. Big Germ less than 300 feet from the pin, and he gets up and fires very quickly. I think that was a throw of aggression. He's just trying to get up and over. And the gallery's applauding, but no one can see where that went.
We can see that it went.
And very quickly and far, but no real idea where it is.
So in the last 2 rounds, Jeremy Koling 53-55. This round, not counting the last 2 throws, he's sitting at 54 strokes. Clearly struggling compared to where he was yet the last 2 rounds. Simon Lizotte, same thing, 54-51. He's already thrown 51 throws, and he just threw out of bounds. Much more difficult conditions today.
Ricky Wysocki continues to move through the course relatively easily, sitting with no bogey strokes here today, and has 47 throws thus far.
JohnE McCray also bogey-free.
And a further clarification that Simon did not go OB. He was up against the OB fence area and is in fact inbounds. If we have any further clarifications in 3 seconds, we'll tell you. standstill forehand that he needs to flex out and get a skip, and is caught up by the left side. Just outside circle one, he'll be looking at a death putt downhill. McCray with a nice turnover putter shot heading right toward the pin. And his caddy and wife Jennifer lets out a little chuckle of approval. McCray let one go. He had a great drive here yesterday, however, didn't keep enough turn on his putter shot. Today he made a slight adjustment, much closer to the pin. Wysocki may stand with his back to the hole. He's got some vegetation directly between him and his throwing alley.
The hot round today is -10. Nico Castro with a 54. JohnE McCray, very slow and steady, getting the birdies when he can. He's shooting 8 down right now. If he can birdie this, and the last one he will tie Nico for the hot round of the day.
Ricky's is also wide. He'll find himself just a few feet from Lizotte's second throw.
Terry, in a situation where you get an ace and then you follow it up with a big number, where are you at mentally, and how do you recover from something like that?
Well, we talk about Simon and his aptitude to have a good time out here, and although he has high expectations, I feel like it's a very strong mental game. I believe he's logged into a self-help book as we move down the fairway right now. He's checking his phone. But in all seriousness, I think Simon's just fine. He did follow that up with a 5, which is a par. Clearly we know that he put himself in position for the 3 and then struggled on the green. However, he did not take a bogey stroke there, so I think he's all right mentally. We'll see what he's going to do here, if he's going to be aggressive or if he's going to just put it up near the pin. And Big Germ's second shot went past the basket deep, and it looks like he's got some obstruction, and he's also, I think he's losing a fight with a thorn bush or two that's back there. Again, those big long legs may come of service here.
Never hurts to be short with long socks. What do you think the name of that self-help book is? Maybe How to Be Great at Everything?
That's possible. We talk about 10,000 hours, and if anyone has 10,000 hours in of disc golf practice, Simon Lizotte would be one of the few people starting at the young age that he did. And although it's no birdie, Big Germ will walk away with a tap-in par. And there is no easy task. I know we're still putting out on 17, but 18 is a very daunting hole that remains. And Simon definitely going for it, does not draw any metal. Looks like he may have carried possibly all the way to circle 1 edge below the basket. Wysocki in a very similar position. We'll see if he's got a better angle at it. Again, Wysocki sitting on a 6-stroke lead. There is no reason for him to give anything away here. No one else. Wysocki lining up. I was going to say no one else besides Wysocki would typically step up and think about trying to can such a long putt because he is always so aggressive in his play. However, he ultimately opts for the layup. Even McCray in the background just said, the dude makes putt from 90 feet, and he just laid that up. And this is torture. Lizotte hits off the top band, and then it gets up and rolls on him. Things are quickly unraveling, and Lizotte steps up and just simply does not care. And does not draw medal. He is now counting his strokes, and he still has a 23-foot tester. High left chain and barely sneaks in. Uncharacteristically, Simon Lizotte has let the wheels come off here on hole 17. I have never seen that before.
Simon just fell into a three-way tie for second place. Chris Dickerson is 24, and let's talk more about that on the next tee.
Sun King Discs, established in 2001. Florida's most respected name in disc sports. Official retail merchandiser of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Currently on tour supporting Discraft and DGA live inventory, free shipping at $12. All orders $19.99, ships in a box, includes single discs, large selection of both stock and collectibles. Check out the website at www.sunkingdiscs.com.
Welcome back. JohnE McCray gave us his game plan. He said he wants to throw it inbounds and really far.
Yeah.
Definitely inbounds. He's got the fist pump. Ricky would love to follow suit, maybe improve slightly on the distance. There may be a wind lift. That is doing all sorts of up and down drafts over on that right side. You see how much that hyzered back. also a huge shot. Big Germ doesn't want it to hit anything. And Simon letting out a little aggression. His last 6 holes have been a straight 1 through 6. And he's in the fairway. Let's see what the women did here on 18.
Forgot. Yes. Oh, yay. Oh, wind. Hit something. Oh, God. Damn it, dude. Give me. No, turn it over. Oh.
On the other side.
Sit, please.
Welcome back to the first third here of hole number 18. And Big Germ was hoping for it to not hit a tree. However, he is in a nasty patch off on this right-hand side. I believe there is a official marking saying that is the nasty patch. We'll see if he's going to be able to get up and down from there. We may see yet another overhand here by Big Germ. Steve, just how tough is this hole? I know you like to tell us the difficulty. I'm guessing this has to be one of the tougher holes out here today.
With the wind, we had the other hole, I don't remember which one it was the most difficult. This is in fact playing as the second most difficult hole today. And Jeremy is living proof as to the problems that this hole can wreak on you. Just real quick, I love looking at who's going to be on the lead card, especially towards the end of the round. Right now we've got Ricky Wysocki obviously leading. JohnE McCray and Simon Lizotte are tied at 26 down. And Chris Dickerson and James Conrad are both at 24 down. They both shot 8 down. It has Chris Dickerson as the 4th spot. I'm not sure how it's figuring that out.
So if I were a betting man, which I am, I believe tomorrow we'll more than likely see Wysocki, McCray, Lizotte, and Chris Dickerson. So barring any crazy events here in the next few throws, I believe that's going to be your lead card. And the overhand by Big Germ, still left with a few hundred feet to go.
And today's playing much harder, as these guys are showing. Chris Dickerson with -8 all 3 rounds. Here's JohnE McCray, second shot.
And McCray looks to be just playing this for the 4. He's going to play it on the right-hand side. Conservative yet effective. Wysocki looks to be coming in with likely a 6 or possibly 7-stroke lead, depending on how he finishes out here on hole 18. We'll see if he's in any position to get aggressive for the birdie 3.
He's at 8 up. He actually has an 8-stroke lead right now. He could take it to 9.
All right, so.
And I believe he won Texas States by 10. I would say Ricky is on a tear.
threading a needle is Simon Lizotte, that is carrying right of the pin. Next to throw will be Wysocki. This is his second shot. Wysocki looking for a little bit more. Again, from our vantage point, looks to be short, but I'm guessing he's actually closer than I even realize. And Big Germ just a few feet inside of Wysocki's. However, this is Big Germ's third throw. Big Germ opts for the high hyzer. And I believe we have more footage from the women. Let's check in with them as we approach the green. Lizotte's effort is just off the top of the band from just about 66 feet. And a 9-stroke lead heading into tomorrow's final round here on Easter Sunday. Very impressive play here by Ricky Wysocki. On point throughout this entire round. Maintained is a 9-stroke lead. Again, JohnE McCray also with a solid round here today. Tip of the cap, we'll see him tomorrow. Big Germ will tap in. Big Germ heroics in terms of being there for the ace, and of course Simon with the ace. We're going to have a Fly Mart and Festival of Flying Discs tonight, but stay tuned. Right now we're going to check in with Sarah Hokum, who is your leader on the women's side, and then we'll be back with Ricky Wysocki shortly after. I'm the disc golf guy, and I've caught up with our women's leader in Sarah Hokum. Sarah, quite a roller coaster out there for really the entire card. You guys are battling hard.
Yeah, it felt like that. It was, you know, the wind picked up today, so it made all of the shots a little bit harder. And then, yeah, I think we did feed off of each other a little bit out there on some negative stuff. So, yeah, it was tough. It really was, to try to keep it stable.
It seemed like the real momentum shift. It was right around hole 15, hole 16, the long par 4, par 5 over the water. Paige ended up with a 7. She went OB, and you played it perfectly, right down to the bottom, right over, and a tap in. How did that feel?
Oh, man, it feels good, especially after not getting there's 2 short holes, 13 and 15, that I missed both of those today. And that was frustrating. So it was nice to finally get that, and it seems to just play to my strength. You know, like that 250 downhill shot, like I've got that dialed, and it's 2 of those. So it's, and I'm happy that, you know, that I was able to convert that birdie. And, you know, Paige just struggled on that hole 2 times in a row. I think she'll probably change her game plan again tomorrow.
Okay. Well, this is Sarah Hokum. She's currently in the lead. She's got a 2-stroke advantage over Paige Pierce, and Jessica Weeks is just a few strokes behind her. We're going to be out here for Sunday live for the final day, and we'll be checking in with the women as they battle it out here in Jonesboro. Let's get back to the action. Hello everyone and welcome back. We have just completed round 3 here at the Jonesboro Open. I'm joined by our healthy leader in terms of 9 strokes, and that's Ricky Wysocki. Ricky, you said you didn't know what you shot that round, but you know you're out in front by 9. How does it feel?
Feels great, you know, like you just said. I don't really keep track of my score. I just keep, you know, I'm just playing the rounds. You know, that's all I'm doing out here. You know, tomorrow might be a little different. You know, when it's the first few rounds, I just play, you know, and I don't really know my score until the last round. That's when it really matters, and that's when I really keep track.
Well, last weekend you had a 10-stroke margin of victory at Texas State's over one of your biggest rivals in Paul Macbeth. What can you attribute this hot shooting? I mean, you're out in front by 9 right now. I know you have 18 more to go, but what's all this hot shooting? How does that come about?
You know, it's just, for me, it's really just a mental battle with myself, and you know, I feel like I've conquered it lately, and you know, that's really what's setting me apart is my mental battle with myself, and I'm winning that, and I just feel like I'm continuing to do that on the course and off the course with preparation leading up to my success on the course. So, you know, I think that, you know, that's really the main reason. You know, I'm doing well, and you know, I'm just playing consistent. I know what I can do, and I know that if I play my game, that's really all that matters in my mind.
Well, you say it's the mental battle, but I'm going to let you in on a little insight. You almost never miss inside the circle, and then you throw like 400 and 500 feet whenever you want. You know those help, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I guess that's consistent for me. You know?
Okay, well that makes sense. Tomorrow we're going to come out here a little bit earlier start. We're looking at 1:30 Central. Dare I say, is there any game plan change whatsoever? Are you going to attack the course like you did the last 3 days?
Yeah, you know, like I've said before, you know, I base my game plan, you know, to be the same each round and every round. So, you know, I've based my game plan in practice to, you know, execute during the tournament, and I do it in a way to where I can be very consistent. And you know, so for me to play the 4th round just like I did the 1st round, just because of my game plan and the way I dial my shots up. And so yeah, for me, there's not much more risk that I'm going to take or not going to take for tomorrow, just because of my game plan, and it's really just about you know being consistent like I have been the first few rounds.
Well, speaking of consistent, how do you maintain your composure when one of your card mates decides to throw one in and card an ace on hole 13 back there?
It seems to be the thing to do these days. Paul did it last week, and you know, Simon did it this week. You know, it's a great shot, and you know, it's fun to watch. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm really just focused on, you know, what I'm doing. So you know, it's a cool little burst of energy, and you know, everyone gets excited, which is great, and I'm right in that boat. But after that, you know, it's right back to, you know, the tunnel vision focus, like I had to start the round and finish the round.
All right. Well, that was actually hole 15. I lost focus. It was so exciting. So, of course, congrats to Simon Lizotte. We're going to do everything we can. Hopefully, you're going to see that on SportsCenter tonight. And that beautiful bridesmaid, Big Germ, on the card. He's always watching those aces go in. Congrats to you, Big Germ, for yet another solid performance in terms of being on that card. So, this is Ricky Wysocki. He's your leader. We're going to be back with you at 1:30 tomorrow Central. We'll again be feeding in the women's lead card coverage, where Sarah Hokum has a slim margin right now over Paige Pierce. We're looking for a solid battle there. Johnny V's got some highlights back in Milwaukee. We're going to cut to those as we wrap up. So for Todd Dodge, who's on the throw cam, Chad Inman on the catch, Gary O on the controls back in Milwaukee, along with Johnny V, Steve Dodge, and myself, Terry Miller, the disc golf guy. We're going to watch Ricky take it on tomorrow with his 9-stroke lead. We'll see you then when you step inside the Smash Box.